And we are back again. Welcome to Science Series number 9, Season 13. We have quite the lineup here today. A lot of familiar names and some new names. I'll get to that in a bit. We've got quite the track set up. Almost the same as Series 8, except that's what the racing lane looks like. We got a big speed bump. Yeah, we're going to destroy what's left of this track. I cannot wait. Let's look at our field of trucks. Also, go check out my Bigfoot open house video if you haven't already. Who knows, maybe a truck that I got from there got into this lineup. Maybe, maybe not. You never know. I've been considered to be unpredictable. Anyways, here's the field of trucks. We got Pinchy 08 and Gravedigger. Cody Armstrong, Gravedigger 30th anniversary. Eric Crawford and Gravedigger the Legend. The True J1 Digger and Max D. Monster Jam Top Dog and El Toro Loco. Caden Wilson and Recdac. Monster JVM and JCB Diggatron. Power Forward and Monster by Dalmatian. Wyatt Lloyd and Mohawk Warrior. Introvert Drew and Northern Nightmare. Devin Treat and Octonator. MT Dana Gush and Captain America. Mark the Wolf 05 Studios and Superman. Antonio Rodriguez III and Bigfoot. Cairo Harrison and Nightwalker. Carol Crane and the Patriot. Shadow vs. Ghost and Avenger. Monster Jam Fox 68 and Brutus. Nathan Webb and Michigan Ice Monster. Roanoke Spotting and Excalibur. Hobby Buddy 99 and Obsession. Eli Curie 21 and Backdraft. Spin Master Monster Jam and Equalizer. Nathaniel Wiggins and Captain USA. Thomas Wiggins and Double Trouble. Hayden James Noska and Titan. Monster Jam Tiny Guy in Nitro Hornet. And Kenny DMJ Fan 12203 in Batman. Well, wait, there's two more. We have two new identities joining the Science Series. Here comes number 1. And what an entrance. Alright, this truck was given to me by Metal Health Racing himself at the Bigfoot Open House. And please welcome Metal Health, driven by Monster Jam 0311. Yeah, shout out to Devin Tree, Metal Health Racing, for giving me this at the Open House. Let's see how well he does here on my Science Series. And one more truck. I did say there were two new identities. Here comes the other one. Okay, not as smooth as Metal Health, but oh well. Brand new truck this year. Representing Send It Motorsports, please welcome Crime Scene Gaming, Terminal Velocity. Yeah, that's right, Terminal Velocity. I had to order it online. It was a loose truck because I didn't want that Thunder Roar, so I had no reason to care for it. But yeah, please welcome your two new identities, Metal Health and Terminal Velocity. Let's go racing! And here we go, round number 1. Kicking things off with the Battle of the Bowtie with Double Trouble racing out of the yellow lane and Titan in the green lane. Man, I should have swapped them. Anyways, Battle of the West Coast, down they go. Problem for Titan, and Double Trouble is going to round 2. Now, Double Trouble and Trouble for Titan. Alright, next up in racing. In the yellow lane, we got Equalizer back once again. This time with a little bit more detail on the chassis. Taking on a truck that hasn't run on this channel for a while, Octonator, who's gotten a couple mini jams released now, which look pretty cool. And anyways, down they go. Problems for Octonator, and Equalizer will advance to round 2. The yellow lane seems to be the lucky lane, though it's a little early to tell. Let's see if we can find out what's going on with this lane. Looks like it's getting it's already getting messed up, so it needs to be flattened out a little bit. No, I'm not sabotaging it. I'm trying to fix it. Who do you think I am, Cold Cobra? And if I was Cold Cobra, I'd be sabotaging Bigfoot. Anyways, Gravedigger Legend, Mohawk Warrior going down. I forgot to announce this. It was Gravedigger the Legend in the yellow lane and Mohawk Warrior in the green lane. And the green lane curse continues as Gravedigger the Legend advances to round 2. All right, next up, two names that haven't run on here for a while. We got Backdraft in the yellow lane, taking on Northern Nightmare in the green lane. Both trucks were in my very first time series all the way back in 2013. Here they are to this day. Down they go. And Northern Nightmare breaking the red lane. What color is it? The green lane. And breaking the green lane curse and getting the win over Backdraft. Although Backdraft is a little bit heavier. Slight disadvantage. But who knows? We'll see how this next race goes. And next up, two more Science Series veterans. We got Batman in the yellow lane taking on Obsession in the green lane. And the other Science Series veteran who was in the very first Science Series all the way back in 2013. Down they go. And problems for Obsession, and Batman flies to victory. I guess the green lane curse is still active. Northern Nightmare just got lucky, I guess. Anyways, Batman advancing to round 2. Alright, next up, we got Brutus in the yellow lane taking on El Toro Loco 25th anniversary in the green lane. The dog versus the bull. Bulldog. And the dog takes down the bull. Brutus advancing to round 2. Alright, these two trucks have a few things in common. They both have metal chassis and plastic bodies. They're fast and they both want to win. Got Gravedigger 30th taking on Tech Deck Wreck Deck. And problems for Gravedigger and Wreck Deck overcoming the green lane curse, advancing to round 2. Alright, next up, Monster My Dalmatian taking on Captain America. And they both missed the speed bump. Captain America off to the side, and Monster My Dalmatian will advance to round 2. Alright, next up, in round 1 racing, two more Science Series veterans. These two were in my very first Science Series as well. And again, that was kind of the idea when I was planning this lineup, combining the past with the present. Michigan Ice Monster taking on the Patriot. And problems for Michigan Ice Monster. The only Hot Wheels Monster Jam chassis in this whole lineup. I was going to customize it, do a chassis swap, but I just forgot to. So, my bad. And anyways, he's the Patriot, the first ever champion on this channel. We'll advance to round 2. Alright, next up in round 1. A couple more Science Series veterans. We got Avenger Fire. My favorite Avenger taking on Superman. The chassis swap Superman. It's supposed to be the one that ran in Saudi Arabia. That's why the rims aren't yellow. Maybe I'll do that version in the future. Who knows? But for now, we got this one. Taking on Avenger. And Superman tried to go for the speed bump, but over he goes. There must have been kryptonite in that Christmas tree. And Avenger will advance to round 2. Alright, next up, a couple of 2013 classics, at least to me. Nitro Hornet in the yellow lane, taking on Captain USA in the green lane. I was wishing that Hot Wheels would do a diecast version of this. And, well, you want something done right, you do it yourself. Alright, Hornet taking on the Captain. Down we go. Problems for the Captain. Nitro Hornet will advance. The Hornet takes down the Captain. And next up, the race I can't get enough of doing. Bigfoot taking on Gravedigger. And I want to address this real quick. This is a chassis swap Bigfoot I did. It's supposed to be Roger Gallagher's Bigfoot because I just think that looks beautiful. Just that simple classic Ford body. The white rims and blue bead lines. Like, it goes hard, okay? Anyway, Digger versus Foot. Ford versus Chevrolet. Down they go. And it's going to be Gravedigger taking down the all-new Bigfoot. That was in the green lane, too. The green lane seems to be working better. Let's hope I didn't jinx it. We're just about done with round 1. Next up, Max D taking on Excalibur. Problems for Max D, and Excalibur will advance to round 2. And next up for round 1 racing, Devin, I hope you're watching this. It's your truck against mine. Metal Health in the yellow lane taking on the Nightwalker in the green lane. Two custom identities. Down they go. And Metal Health will advance to round 2. And the last race of round 1. Terminal Velocity making his racing debut, taking on JCB Tigatron. And one heck of a debut. Terminal Velocity will advance to round 2. Alright, before we move on with round 2, we need a fast loser. So we got Titan, Backdraft, and Octonator. And problems for Titan, Octonator, and Backdraft will return to take on Terminal Velocity in round 2. And here we go, round 2. Double Trouble taking on Equalizer. Battle of the bow tie once again. And man, Double Trouble is really improving, but he's still got a little work to do because he just got taken down by Equalizer. Alright, moving on in round 2. 2 trucks that really need to be back full time. Gravedigger the Legend taking on Northern Nightmare. And proud for Gravedigger the Legend. Nice save by Northern Nightmare. That's one way to win. And Northern Nightmare advancing to round 3. Forgot this is round 2. And next up, 2 chassis swap trucks. Batman taking on Brutus. And they collide midair, but Brutus comes out of it, advancing to round 2. Wait, wasn't he in the green lane? Huh. And next up in round 2, Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on Tech Deck Wreck Deck. And they both do the same move. They collide midair. Mid-air collision, but your winner is going to be Tech Deck Wreck Deck. Alright, next up, Avenger taking on the Patriot. And they both go over the speed bump. That was pretty smooth, but Avenger will advance to round 3. And next up, Nitro Hornet taking on Gravedigger. And it's going to be Nitro Hornet. Gravedigger kind of got the whole shot on him, but then got caught up on the speed bump, and Nitro Hornet took advantage of it and got the win. Thanks to Gravedigger getting caught on a Christmas tree. And next up is Ford versus Chevrolet. Metal Health taking on Excalibur. And problems from Metal Health, unable to keep it on all 4. Excalibur takes advantage of it and takes the win, advancing to round 3. We got 1 race left. And the last race of round 2. Terminal Velocity taking on Backdraft. And it's going to be Terminal Velocity. Alright, round 3. No fast losers. Northern Nightmare taking on Equalizer. Oh, dead even, but it's going to be Northern Nightmare going to the semifinals. Next up, Wreck Deck taking on Brutus. And they both go into the triple, and Brutus is going to come out on top. What the heck was that? That was weird. And next up, we got Avenger taking on Nitro Hornet. Another tough break for Nitro Hornet. Avenger will advance to round 2, or semifinals, what am I saying? And last race of round 3, Terminal Velocity taking on Excalibur. Oh. And it's going to be Excalibur going to the finals. Wow. 3 Indies and 1 Feld truck. This should be good. And this is the semifinals. Northern Nightmare taking on Brutus. And Brutus is going to the finals. Okay. Alright. And who's going to take on Brutus in the finals? Will it be Excalibur or Brutus' teammate Avenger? Only one way to find out. And it's going to be Excalibur. Alright, it all comes down to this. 2 trucks, but only 1 winner. Tomfoolery versus Team Scream. Let's meet our competitors. Racing out of the yellow lane, it is Roanoke Spawning and Excalibur. Taking on Monster Jam Fox 68 and Brutus. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. You know the rest. Let's go racing. And your racing champion, Monster Jam Fox 68 and Brutus. It's been a long time since Brutus has won. He's going to celebrate. All right. Well, that concludes racing here. Hope you guys enjoyed. And congratulations to Monster Jam Fox 68, and good luck to you in Triple Threat Racing, which is next.